atmosphere of a Chattanoggins event is uplifting. It's a bunch of people doing something that's, believe it or not, pretty hard for a lot of people. And once it's done, you see smiles, you see tears, you see a lot of people who are just connected. And it comes through children, but ultimately it's through Jack. It's through that want to help a community that most people expect. You know, they don't expect a young guy to step up and do that sort of thing. You expect it from adults. And I think that when you wrap that up in a kid, it speaks to a lot of people in a very innocent way.
To be sitting there in the middle of the market on one of the busiest days, it's usually in early June or late May, if I remember correctly, and it's one of the busiest days of the market, and to have all those people walking by, but then you end up and they stop and wonder what's going on, and then you have all this group of folks on the stage having their heads shaved, some of them for the first time, and they're not realizing what they're going to look like without any hair. But it's a wonderful, festive, I think probably the neatest part about the whole thing is everyone is so giving. I mean, they do it for such a special cause, and it's neat that Jack has been able to organize that thing through. Of course, there was Rachel Welch, who's on our board, who ended up shaving her head. That was kind of a neat touch too. So those two sort of stand out in my mind. But I'm always impressed by the folks that are willing to do that, and the money raised. It's pretty neat. It's a wonderful, unique, special, and it's neat that Jack has sort of taken it under his wings and made it his own and built a legacy.
All right.
If folks don't know about it, or if they haven't heard anything about it, or if they'd like to just to be a part, you don't have to shave your head. You could donate money if you want, or you could just come to the market and watch. And you can't help but feel good about it when you go.
About it in 2009 on an NPR article that had happened at Sweet Gypsy, and I just thought, man, what a great event to have at the Chattanooga Market. I did the first year at the market. I did, and I raised over $3,000. It was exciting, I think, because of my position with the market. The vendors were excited, and they had all kind of raised an extra few dollars to see if I could, wear a little girly thing on my head. So they were all excited about watching me get my hair shaved, and so I had it was fun. I had them cut a mohawk in it so I could see what a mohawk would look like on me before it went totally bald. Because I believe everybody loves children, and especially when childhood cancer affects a child. All of us parents and adults feel helpless, and this is one of our way to help and not feel so helpless and be proactive. The event means to me it's kind of a coming together of Chattanooga to support Erlanger and to support any kid that has childhood cancer and suffers. It's just a way for all of us to get together and show that we care.
In 2012, I was working on promotional materials for the Chattanooga Roller Girls, and we were looking for charitable activities that they did in Chattanooga, and the one that jumped out to us was Chattanoggins. We thought it was a great story to tell about these 5 girls who were shaving their heads bald. As we started getting deeper into the story and talking to more people, we interviewed Jack, and we interviewed his mom. We found out a little bit more about what they did, and we said, we love this. We want to get in. We want to be sponsors. They don't have a television sponsor, and we want that to be us. I watched one young woman stand up out of her chair, and immediately her mother, who also had her head shaved, came over and hugged her. And traditionally in society, we think of bald women, and a lot of people don't think of that as beautiful, but in that moment, it was absolutely beautiful to see a mother and daughter with both of their heads shaved and hugging and crying, and it was amazing. I think that there are a lot of organizations that you could give your time and your money to, but when you put children in the mix, it speaks to everyone. I mean, it speaks across races, across upbringings. Everyone sees a child and says, this is an innocent person that doesn't need to suffer. And again, when you put Jack in with it, when you've got a kid asking you to help other kids, how can you say no? The event to me, as someone who's not from Chattanooga, is a really good example of what the community of Chattanooga stands for. It's a smaller community, yes, but it's able to do big things. And when you come out and you see that the mayor took time out of his Saturday to come support this event, it really speaks to the community as a whole, and Jack is a product of that community for sure. I think that the range of promotional spots that we've produced for Chattanoggins really speaks to the range of reach that it has. We've made spots that are funny, we've made spots that are joking around, and we've made spots that are serious, and the flexibility will always be there. There's always going to be a side of levity to this charity, but there's always going to be that serious side that's the real tearjerker. The sky's the limit for the future of Chattanoggins. I mean, it's a foundation that, yes, there are other charities that exist that are similar to this, but not all of them have this type of foundation, and not all of them have this type of drive behind it, or the persistence that Chattanoggins has had. I mean, Jack's getting older. He's gone to seminars. He went up to New York for a leadership camp. And I think that he's learned a lot of things that are going to enable him to take this very far. There's been talks of branching it out into other cities, and I think that's a great idea. It doesn't just have to be Chattanoggins. It can be everybody's noggins.
Well, the first time I shaved my head, it was very nerve-wracking, but I did have a great group of girls that were with me, the Chattanooga Roller Girls. Woo! And but it was a really great experience. There was a lot of jitters, a lot of nerves going on, a lot of stuff like that. But
it was insane to actually watch that whole group go up there because, you know, all of them were very excited. I think there were 5 total, and everybody that went up there had a lot of hair, and there was definitely a transformation that happened. So it was really cool to see them before, after, during, the excitement, the insanity. It was really awesome to watch that group get up there.
well, it was very emotional, I feel. You know, there were a lot of females that did shave their heads, and it was kind of an emotional time. Lots of excitement, but there was still that underlying emotion where, I mean, we know why we raise money, and we just...
There's to see everybody go up, and as you're watching as an outsider, you know, watching the people who are shaving their heads and seeing who gets up there, and, you know, to hear some of the stories about why certain people get up there. There were lots of parents that got up there and did it because of their children, and, you know, just to raise awareness. And then there were lots of kids that went up with their parents because they did understand what was going on. I believe that, you know, you bringing it in from the kid perspective, you know, you started this a few years ago when you were younger, and it really brought a lot of attention to, a kid brought this up. Oh my gosh, maybe adults should be thinking the same way. And to see that emotion that she was talking about with everybody is really an awesome day, because there's a lot of power around it. You feel that there is people there and they're wanting to help, and then it's just amazing to see how it all comes together. When Jessie got interested in shaving her head and doing it, one way I thought that we could assist her, I started putting a bucket out, and for $5, you get your name in a bucket, and at the day of Jack's Chattanoggins, I pulled that name, and somebody gets a $150 tattoo for free, or for, you know, a $5 fee. And then that money, all the money that's built up going towards the tattoo donations actually goes to her team. We do see a lot of people in here, so we knew that we could assist by promoting, hey, this is what's going on. And Kevin, one of the partners of Mainline, has actually stepped up, and he joined the team last year, and he's back in it again this year. And a lot of people from TVA where he works have gotten involved, and it's become a group thing, and it's become, you know, a meaningful thing. It's not just about, you know, hey, let's all get together. It's about, let's make this family and get all together, because, you know, the more people that you have that are interested, and the more people that you have come together, the bigger amount of noise you can make. And sometimes it's all about getting that. Even though it's kind of loud and crazy, it's going, hey, you know, look what's happening in our town, and how can we help it?
Leading up to it, first of all, it was announced, it was in the local paper, and I had read about it and decided, and there were instructions on how to register and do it, and I did that. And as the day came, you just showed up and turned in. You raise money, you get people to sponsor you. It was really fun. I had a very large head of hair at the time, so my sisters and family and friends were very excited about me shaving it all off, especially for the good cause. Yeah, I had questions and told them exactly, you know, that we were benefiting the fight against pediatric cancer. It resonated with me, I think, for three reasons, and that's all I can speak to. Why to other people, I don't know.